So let's talk about, some basic terminology that's, sort of specific to Azure and the hierarchical structure of how resources are managed inside Azure. Now, this diagram is something that you would see, very typically in a lot of Microsoft documentations. Now, let me take an example and explain you what this is. Now, just imagine you are an organization, say Walmart, and Walmart has typically a lot of departments inside it. It has HR, it has store management, it has IT, and inside IT there's prod, dev, and inside IT there will be multiple projects which will be running, and inside that there will be dev, prod, etc., etc. And this management group is basically sort of a logical segregation of subscriptions, which will essentially help an organization to ensure compliance by applying policies onto multiple subscriptions in a single time. Now, if the word subscription resource group or resources sound very alien to, let me explain it very clearly. Now, let's go bottom up. What a resource is? A resource is nothing but a single manageable item that is available to Azure. Now, what do I mean by that? You talk about any resource that you create. For example, when we go to a portal, when we go to functions, Azure Functions is a service that is provided by Azure for running code. Only when it is invoked, something similar to AWS Lambda. Now, when you click on a single Azure Functions app, this is what I call when I call a resource. This resource is of a type Functions app, and this resource is essentially a part of a resource group. And this resource group is a part of a subscription. Now, when you click on a resource group, you would see there will be multiple resources which are a part of resource group. Now, the reason why there is this logical segregation is to have better manageability and to ensure that they can be managed within a single click. For example, you could simply go ahead and say, I want to delete this management group. We want to delete this resource group. So let's just take the same example that we were talking about Walmart, right? Now, typically inside Walmart.com or maybe Walmart e-shopping website, you would have a front end, back end, and a database. Now, this front end, back end, and database are three separate resources, or there might be additional resources associated to this website. And this particular group of resources will be tagged to a resource group, which will be website prod. And there'll be another resource group, which will be dev website. So this will essentially give any administrator a flexibility to assign privileges to ensure compliance and more, which we'll be talking about in a subsequent videos. Now, if you already understand what a resource group is, let's go to subscription. So subscription is nothing but agreement with Microsoft to use one or more Azure services. Now, think of it this way: when you see subscriptions uh, inside Microsoft portal, you would have something called as pay as you go. And there'll be another subscription, which is generally if you are associated with a, say probably Visual Studio Enterprise, or if you've given Azure for Student, or if you're using a trial, you would have a subscription name. So this is basically what is the core of your agreement with Microsoft. Now here you have offer ID, which is the Visual Studio, and you have the directory name, and you have subscription ID associated with, and you will have a billing associated with the subscription. So anything that you do gets associated with the billing that you add to this particular subscription. So this, you can think of it like a logical container with your billing details attached to it and resources associated to specific set of segments. For example, you have a billing a segregation for all your IT resources, and probably for all the non-IT resources, you have another billing provided, present with you. So you can logically think of it that way. Now, multiple subscriptions can be a part of a management group. This is what typically you see management. You can go to management groups inside search, and you will understand what are all the management groups that are available. By default, you will not have any management group. You can create these management groups, but by default, these are all present in the tenant root group. So inside tenant, there are two management groups. One is HR and the second one is IT. And there is another subscription which is not associated with any management group. So this is the logical segregation or the hierarchy of the entire resource management in Azure.